It's not possible. I didn't say it would be easy, Neo.
Okay, we are, good morning, the Committee on Parole. We are reconvening. We're at Rayburn Correctional Center on Wednesday, April 24th, 2024 at 10:55 a.m.
There we go.
Can y'all hear us?
It's on you.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
We had a little technical difficulty for just a second.
Right. Well, we did our preliminary, so we'll just ask for y'all to introduce yourselves.
Yes, ma'am. Warden Travis Day.
Deputy Warden Keith Bickham.
Carolyn Thomas, Record Supervisor. Lexi Kennedy, Classification Administrator.
And
Kevin Richard,
yes,
112568.
And you are Mr. Richard. I was going to say Richard. Good morning, Mr. Richard.
Good morning.
So let me introduce, I don't know that you heard Mr. Richard. Let me introduce the panel to you. My name is Cheryl Renanza. I'm chairman today. Seated to my left is Mrs. Stapleton and to my right is Mr. Freeman. Let me read some identifying information into the record and then we'll have a parole interview. We'll ask you some questions. We'll hear from the warden or wardens. And then if you'd like, you can, and we have the DA's office from Jefferson who would like to have input. And at the very end, you'll be allowed to make a statement. So Mr. Richard, you're classified as the 6th felony offender. Your most recent sentencing is March of 2003, distribution of cocaine, 6 counts, 1 count of distribution of marijuana, and attempted failure to register as a sex offender. You have a parole eligibility date, which is December 21st of this year. You have an adjusted good time date, which is May 9th of 2025. Is that information correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Richard, so tell us about the sex offender registration, the failure to register as a sex offender. What happened with that?
I have a problem remembering the dates, and it's like it's not my first time, but the reporter had called one of my sisters and remind me of the dates. I don't know if I was in the hospital at the time because I had surgery on my hand. Twice, I had 2 surgeries on my hand. I probably was in the hospital at the time, but I have problem remembering the dates. You know.
Yeah, but it's not your sister's. I do see, you did say you had, that's not the first time it happened because I see that in 2017, you also had a failure to register.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the same reason because you forgot the date?
Yeah, I mean, I have problems remembering dates because I have a lot of doctor appointments. I have glaucoma. I got hit in my head when I was 2 years old, and I went to brain damage. And I had problems remembering. So they usually call one of my sisters, Sherry or Portia or Deborah, and remind me to go.
Okay. So tell us about your drug issues.
Yeah,
6 counts of distribution of cocaine.
Yeah, I used to sell drugs, but that's not in my, that's not, I don't sell drugs no more,
You're in jail.
Yeah, I don't sell them at all no more. I work. I do a lot of inside work. I do like landscaping. I do housework.
So, but the sentencing, let me see, it was in 2023. So just a year ago, or well, I guess it would be 2022, just a year ago, you started doing the landscaping work?
No, I've been doing that all my life. I do.
I see. You were saying, I see what it is. That arrest was in 2004. And you pled guilty in 2005. You were sentenced to 25 years. Okay. You have a very extensive criminal record, Mr. Richard. You have, and it includes crimes of violence, which is very concerning. Dates. The first one I saw was 1983. That was armed robbery. You do have a history of sex offenses. I see in 2002 and 3 assault or injury to family members. I think you were in Texas at the time. So you tell us about Why all the violence?
So I never had an assault charge in my life.
You never had a sex charge?
Assault, you say assault charge?
Assault, yeah.
I never had an assault charge. I never had an assault charge. None of my family members.
This says April of 2003 by the Round Rock, Texas Police Department, assault causing injury to family member. That's not you?
No, ma'am. That's not me. I never hit none one of my family members.
Then there was another one, September 29th, 2002 in Killeen, Texas. Assault causing bodily injury.
I never had an assault charge nowhere in Killeen, Texas. I stayed with my sister Distrib.
Been in Killeen, Texas before?
Yeah, I stayed with, she should be on the panel right there. She put that locked in on. I never had a violent charge with none of my people.
All right. So tell us about your time there at Rayburn. What have you done since you've been there?
Well, I've been there about 7 months. I did pre-release, you know, and that's about it. I'm backlogged for parenting and a few other classes that I know of.
Well, good. Did you get any good time credits for your pre-release? Yeah, I do see it. CTRP. Yeah, you did. I see that. So you're not enrolled in anything right now?
It got me backlogged. I think they said I was backlogged for a few classes, parenting, and a few other classes, anger management or whatever. You know, they said.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Do you see mental health staff there? Do you see a social worker or a psychiatrist or anybody?
No, not since I've been here.
Okay. Before you got there, were you under the care of a mental health professional?
I go to mental health on the street, you know, Medicaid and all that. You know, I go to mental health on the street, yeah, when I'm free.
You were on the street. Were you taking any mental health medication?
Yeah, I took nerve pills.
Yeah, but you don't have the need for that now, do you? Or do you?
No, ma'am.
I see that you've had no write-ups during this period of incarceration, at least. That's good. And you did living in balance before you were released on good time? You took that program?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Warden, what can you tell us about Mr. Richard?
Kevin's got a vision impairment. He doesn't work. He does some light work inside. When you do ask him about this stuff, he can remember the changes or mistakes you made. Outside of that, his record pretty much speaks for itself.
All right, thank you. Have you any questions? All right. Well, before we ask the DA for his comments, Mr. Richard, is there anything, you said your sister was supposed to join us. We don't have her as listed today, so she wasn't able to join in, I guess. So is there anything you'd like to say to us before we ask the DA for his comments?
Yeah, you know, I'm sorry for any problem I caused because I forgot to register. And I'm very sorry if I hurt anybody any kind of way about, you know, forgot to register.
Okay, well, thank you, sir. Mr. Meyer, we'd like to hear from you. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute. I can't hear you.
All right, is that better?
Got it,
right.
yes.
Sorry, Randy Meyer, Assistant DA in Jefferson Parish. We're opposed at this time. Mr. Richard, I think he needs some more programming to help him when he gets out, so he's got the tools to stay out. You know, he's got he was released on a good time, and then was revoked for failure to register for a second time. Poor supervision while he was the times he's been under supervision. And I'm glad to see that during this incarceration, he hadn't had any write-ups yet, but the prior incarceration between 2005 and 2015, he had 45 write-ups, pretty much one every year. And all of the programming he has taken really has been prior to this incarceration. I think he needs some long-term substance abuse. I think he needs some help with anger management. He's got a history of some violent acts with his criminal record, theft, rapes, assaults, and a long history of selling drugs, which I think the substance abuse would be very helpful for that. So for those reasons, we're opposed at this time to his request.
Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Richard, we're prepared to vote. I'll be voting first. Mr. Richard, I'm glad to know that you're backlogged for some classes. I do agree with the district attorney's office that I think you would benefit from some additional programs. You do have a good time date, which is a little over a year away, May 9th of next year. So if you do get to do programming, you'll get to earn a little bit of that good time to have an earlier release. You have a history of revocation. You've been revoked at least 3 times. Again, this is not, I hear what you say, you forget the dates, but this is not your first failure to register as a sex offender, and that's a pretty serious offense. So my vote today is going to be to deny your paroles for those reasons. Mrs. Stapleton?
I agree with my board member.
Mr. Freeman?
I concur due to criminal history and supervision.
Right. So today, Mr. Richard, your parole has been denied, sir. Good luck to you.